Hello, children. Welcome to Storytime with James. Today we're going to share a peaceful quote with you from A Peaceful Life by David Baird. Get enough sleep. That's a good one. I hope everyone's getting enough sleep out there. Now, the book I'm going to recommend today to parents is called The Number Devil. Oh my goodness, do I love The Number Devil, children. Teaches you some really cool mathematical concepts. I think the appropriate age level for this is probably 7 and up. I started reading it to my children younger than that, and my children have really strong math skills. But whenever it feels right for you, it's got great pictures, but I definitely wouldn't start with it any younger than 7. You know, there's some pretty complex mathematics in it, but it could still be really enjoyable. The Number Devil is a cute little character, and the little child who's in it is great. So The Number Devil by Magnus Enzensberger. Wonderful book to read with your older children. Now, you might not have known this, but I used to live and teach at a Montessori school in Brisbane, Australia. And when I was there, I got lots of great books. And one of my favorites was Edward the Emu and Edwina the Emu, both by Sheena Knowles and illustrated by Rod Clement, who is a brilliant illustrator and makes beautiful art. And I wanted to read these books for you. It's a great time for you to talk about the different continents and the ways of life of the people who live there and their biology and their biomes and their currency and their government and all that great stuff. So if you're looking for ideas, you can tie these books into your Australia studies. So Edward the Emu, the first in the series, by Sheena Knowles, illustrated by Rod Clement. Edward the Emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go, there was nothing to do. And compared to the seals who lived right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from his pen and he laughed as he said, "The seals are the best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I will be a seal as well." There he is on the fence, about to jump in. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming and Edward was too. He dived in the water and basked in the sun, and he balanced a ball on his beak just for fun. There he is catching a fish. Well, Edward was really enjoying the day till he overheard someone behind the fence say, "The seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion is the best thing to see at the zoo." What do you think's going to happen next, children? So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from the pool and he smiled as he said, "The lion's the best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll be a lion as well." What do you think happens next, children? Can you guess? Let's see if you were right. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring, and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and he growled at the men. Life certainly was grand for a lion in his den. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day, till a man in the crowd had the gumption to say, "The lion's a beast I shall always detest. The snakes are the things that I like the best." What's going to happen next? Let's see if your predictions were correct. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage and he grinned as he said, "If snakes are the best things, and that's what they say, then tomorrow I'll be a snake for the day." The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing, and Edward was too. He slipped around the rocks. It was magic to see. Then he curled himself casually up around a tree. Well, Edward was just warming up for the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "The snakes are impressive. I know that's true. But the emu's by far the best thing at the zoo." The emus? Who's an emu? "The emu," gasped Edward. "My goodness, that's me! I'm the thing that the gentleman most likes to see. Not the seals, the lions, the snakes, or the rest. It's Edward the Emu that he likes to see best." He looks pretty happy. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "Ha, the emu's the best. That's easy then. Tomorrow I'm Edward the Emu again." Such beautiful snakes. What happened? What happened, children? Edward ran to the place where he used to reside. But oh, what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu that they brought in to take his place. The emus considered each other a while. Then the new emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina, and it's nice meeting you. You're the best thing that I've seen since I've come to the zoo." And that is Edward the Emu by Sheena Knowles, illustrated by Rod Clement. Well, that book was so good, they decided to do another together called Edwina the Emu, which makes sense. Edwina the Emu by Sheena Knowles and Rod Clement. There once were two emus who lived in a zoo. One was Edwina, and Edward was too. They played every day. There was never a fight. They cuddled up close to keep warm every night. As they sat there one day entwining the legs, Edwina announced she'd laid 10 little eggs. "Yeek!" shouted Edward. He seemed to be choking. 10 little emus? You've got to be joking." "I'm not," said Edwina, "but don't get depressed. I'll look for a job and you stay on the nest." Look at their eggs are green. Is that surprising to you, children? What do you think of the Emu newspaper? An ad in the paper said, "Dance the ballet. If you've got the legs, we're willing to pay." "Great," said Edwina. "That would be fine. I'll hop on the bus and I'll be there at 9. The director called up for the next ballerina, and onto the stage stepped the lovely Edwina. She whirled and she waltzed, she twirled and she leapt, then twisted her legs in a grand pirouette. "Yeek!" the man shouted. He seemed to be choking. "An emu dance play? You've got to be joking." "I'm not," said Edwina, "but don't laugh at me. I'll find the right job soon. You just wait and see." She looked great to me. An ad in the paper said, "Chimney to sweep. Stick out your neck and you could make a heap." "I will," said Edwina. "Now this will be fun. I'll hop on a bus and I'll be there by 1. Oh, going head first down the chimney. Up on the roof, the wind whistled about. "I'm ready!" the lady below shouted out. "I'll be just a minute," Edwina called back. Then she pushed through till she popped out, bristled and black. "Yeek!" said the lady. She seemed to be choking. "An emu sweep chimneys, you've got to be joking." "I'm not," said Edwina, "but don't laugh at me. I'll find the right job soon. You just wait and see." An ad in the newspaper said, "Waiter required. If you're quick on your feet, you're sure to be hired." "Yes," said Edwina, "that's perfect for me. I'll hop on a bus and I'll be there by 3. Edwina served tea to a man in a hat. Would you like me to bring you a meal with that? Yes, said the man, I'll have sausages fried, with a couple of nice runny eggs on the side. Yeek! Said Edwina. She seemed to be choking. You want to eat eggs? You've got to be joking. I'm not, said the man. Eating eggs is the best. I once ate 10 of them straight from the nest. Oh boy, children. Edwina ran out. She ran into the street. It was true that she said she was quick on her feet. Taxi, she cried. Take me home. Make it fast. I know what the right job is for me at last. What do you think she's going to do, children? Oh, look at Edward sitting on the green eggs. It was late when Edwina got back to the nest. You're late, muttered Edward, and I need a rest. You're right, said Edwina. From now on, we share. I'll sit on the nest and you pull up a chair. Oh, look at all the babies. So cute. There once were 12 emus who lived in the zoo. One was Edwina and Edward was 2. Then Fluffy and Scruffy and Sniffly Sneeze and Fatty and Footloose and Knobbly Knees and Lollipop Legs and Shortenin' and Squeak. And the last little emu, they called that one Yeek! Children, I love these stories. Edward and Edwina the Emu by Sheena Knowles and Rod Clement. Thank you for joining us at Storytime. I hope you tune in next time. Don't forget to wash your hands for 20 seconds. Insides and outs, your nails, the backs and the fronts. Sing a little song like Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's about 20 seconds long.